God bless everybody. Today is December 30th of 2022. I'm going to do a quick update on Daniel 8, and we have a lot going on the ground, so we need to keep up with this one. This one's moving quickly. So in just the last few days, we've seen a meeting with Syria, Turkey, and Russia monitoring this talk. And so what's happening is here, Turkey's looking for air rights and ground rights to go into Syria to attack the Kurds. And they need two things. One, a green light from Russia, and a determination on what to do with Assad. Because in Turkey's eyes, Assad is sort of like the Kurds, a terrorist group. And so we've had these talks just in the last 24 hours start to come up with some conclusions. And those conclusions are Assad is a problem. What are they going to do about him? And this is starting to break out in a lot of different protests across Syria. Just as we speak, within the last few hours, I'll start to show you that as we move forward. They're all against the Assad regime, and so are we going to see potentially Assad either removed through protests and through governmental strife, or potentially Turkey will cooperate with Assad to remove the Kurds or attack the Kurds, or potentially Turkey could just take Assad out because he's a problem and he's in their way right now. And so as you move down into this article, you'll realize that these talks went pretty well with Turkey. Turkey's getting ready to do something. They're going to launch this massive invasion, and when they get, regardless of whether they get the rights, they're going to do this because it's ordained by God and it's prophecy. So as this moves forward, we're going to see this massive attack into Syria by Turkey. This could be the end of the Assad regime before long, or he will just capitulate and be a pawn of Turkey. And as you move down in this article, you'll see that this is moving fairly quickly. And these were the defense ministers that just had this meeting, and they're going to have the foreign ministers have a meeting later at an undetermined date. So I've done many videos about how I see in Daniel 10 a date stamp of January 24th of potentially this year, and how that's going to affect us as we move forward. Now, there is an indication that Daniel is struggling for 3 weeks prior to this vision that Jesus gives him, showing him that Iran would be attacked for 21 days, and then after this, we would see the Archangel Michael step in and actually destroy this nation. Now realize that will affect the Kurds also, because the Kurds will align with Iran prior to this attack by Turkey. And so if you take this map and you look at this real quick, and I'm not going to go over this a lot because I've gone over this so many times. You need to go back and watch some of the other videos. But what would happen is, now that they're looking for the air rights and ground rights through Assad and Russia up here, Turkey is going to create this massive invasion into this country through Syria and Iraq. This is going to force the Kurds to collapse. Okay, and like I say, Erbil is the regional capital here, so we have to watch that. We got a green zone there. This is all going to collapse down towards Baghdad and Shush, Iran, because when Daniel is having the vision, he's standing at the end of at the Tigris River here in this area. Okay, Shush, Iran's here, Baghdad's here, Elam Providence is here. The Ulai River's here. This is where I've been alluding that when these Kurds collapse to this area, and we see them align with Iran because they're going to be forced by Turkey down here, and this is all going to collapse, that they're going to have no choice. The Kurds are going to have to either attack Iran or they're going to have to join Iran. And so Iran and the Kurds have a hard decision because Turkey wants to destroy Iran before Iran launches a nuclear weapon against Israel. And so Turkey's not going to sit on this one. That's why you see all this happening right now. If you go into the information on this map, you'll notice that all these demonstrations within the last few hours have broken out, and that we're going to see a lot of pressure on the overthrowing Assad, because he's the last problem for Turkey to get into Syria. And so will Assad lose his regime here? Will he be overthrown? Will he just be a puppet and work with Turkey? This is what this meeting was about. And so as you go down this list of articles and things, and that's why I use this map, because most of the time they're pretty good about updating. So as you go down this map, you're going to start to see even the Kurds are starting to realize that Assad is a problem here, and they're not going to get any love from these guys, okay? So the Kurds are just out in the wind blowing at this time. They have nobody out here helping them. And so this collapses down because Syria is going to apply pressure probably. And if Syria, okay, so that's an interesting thing. So if Assad would come in and be part of this group of Turkey and Syria, and Israel would gang up potentially on Iran, but Syria's got a problem because Russia's a big ally of not only Syria and the Assad regime, but potentially Iran, because they've been working with Iran also. So there's a lot of conflicts here. So what's Putin going to do? Is he going to give him the rights over Syria? Probably. He needs those air rights. Turkey has to be able to get down here and have control of the air so that his ground effect can come down here and pummel these Kurds without being basically taking a lot of losses. So keep your eye on this thing. It's starting to open up, and this is going to start to really take effect here soon as we move forward. But I just thought it was interesting now that we've had this meeting in Russia between Turkey, Syria, and Russia to determine the fate of this area, that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all these protests have started to break out, and this is going to place a lot of pressure on the Assad government, and we could see either Assad overthrown, or we could see potentially Assad capitulate to where they have to align with Turkey and Israel so that they can remove Iran from the picture, because Iran is going to get a nuclear weapon anytime soon if they don't already have one. And everybody over here, Turkey, Israel, all the Muslim nations are concerned about the Temple Mount. That is the place that everybody is concerned about, is down here, this Temple Mount area. And like I say, once Daniel 8 happens and you see the Kurds come down and join, that's what the prophecy says. Daniel 8 says the prophecy indicates that the Kurds will join Iran, and then Turkey will smash them. If you go to Ezekiel 38, 39, right after they talk about the chief prince of Turkey, or Meshech and Tubal, which is all in Turkey, that Iran is the first country listed because they're the first absorbed. Then that would turn, once that completes and Iran is destroyed, that would turn into Ezekiel 38, 39, and then Turkey would move across here. He's got to come through potentially parts of Jordan or even Israel, because there's this little place here that they have to go through to get to Egypt. And that's what the prophecy says, is once Iran falls, Turkey will drive to Egypt and then up to the two seas between in Jerusalem in Israel. And so we're going to see that by the end of October. So in the next month or so, we're going to see an attack potentially on Iran. And by the end of the year, indicated in my paradigm, by around October of this next year, 23, we would see Erdogan end up in Egypt and up into Israel, and an attack on Israel is imminent, potentially by the end of this year. So keep your eye on this one. It's moving quickly, and they're not going to wait on it. This is going to really open up, and this whole Middle East area is going to blow up, because this Ezekiel 38-39 area radiates from Turkey to Afghanistan to Egypt, the northern portions of Africa, and up into Israel. And so this whole area is going to be affected by Erdogan as we move forward. God bless everybody. Keep an eye on this one. This one's moving fast, and it's going to affect you as we move forward.